What's up, grinders? Welcome back to the channel. It's that time of the year again when everyone makes their New Year's resolutions, makes a really big show of it, probably like a 15-minute long video laying out their entire plan for the year to come, and then about 1 week later they completely forget about it and they pretend it never existed, kind of like some specific Japanese challenge. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to make my New Year's resolutions, which really aren't resolutions, they're just a continuance of my current plans and then implementation of new plans moving forward as part of my overall arc of basically becoming the ultimate linguistic villain that exists in this world. Okay, so additionally, I'm kind of hoping you all go down in the comments section and drop down what your plans are over this last year, so that next year when, you know, the time comes and I really desperately need some content, I can basically just call you all out in the comments section and we can laugh at the fact that most of you will never implement your New Year's resolutions. And those of you who do, you will be the last who will be enslaved by me when I get to world domination. Okay, so let's start, I guess, with the linguistic side of things. And I'll start with Spanish, okay? Because that's kind of the big thing that's been going on as of recently on this channel now, isn't it? So, Spanish-wise, okay. I'm currently doing an ALG challenge, Automatic Language Growth, and I'm doing that via Dreaming Spanish. And I'm currently, almost 650 hours into that challenge, okay? Now, if I continue at my current rate of progression, assuming everything goes to plan, by the end of next year, I should definitely be at that 1,500 hours, okay? Which means that I would have completed what is the general part of the Dreaming Spanish roadmap. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean you're just at that point fluent or whatever, but I will have at that point completed the roadmap and therefore be able to do my finalized review where I'm like, yeah, it was okay. I'll give it, 4 points out of 10, and that'll be basically the conclusion of the series or something along those lines, But I am hoping I will be at a fairly good level in Spanish and I will be able to speak as if I am an Argentinian, which means that at the end of next year, I'm kind of hoping if I can, line up everything quite nicely, I'll be doing a trip over to South America to trial out my Spanish speaking abilities and also kind of, just immerse myself in the environment for a little bit. And I've always wanted to do a trip to South America. Originally, actually, I wanted to go to Brazil and do the whole Amazon type of thing. But I guess because Brazil decided to be a rebel and speak Portuguese, unlike everyone else read down there, that weird freaking one. Well, I guess there's also the French. There's a bit of weird French people down there. And there's a few other languages. Anyway, let's not get distracted, okay? I'll be doing probably a trip to Argentina or somewhere like that just to practice my Spanish. So that's kind of like the end of next year plan, assuming that I've completed the roadmap, because I'd like to do that after I've completed the roadmap, because I feel it's kind of important just to show what you can get from following this method while actually, not going out into the world and using the language like, you would normally. I don't know. I just kind of feel like that will allow us to get a better idea of what's possible if you aren't, someone like me who's got the means to be able to travel. So that's my Spanish plans. Okay, now let's start on my Chinese plans. So I already launched a Chinese channel, a gaming channel, where I've dropped a couple of videos, but I haven't dropped any recently. My plan is probably once a month to drop a gaming vid on that channel, okay? Me gaming in Chinese. Now, hopefully with time, because I am actually grinding my Chinese, I'm continuing, my progression in that area, but hopefully with time, I will need less and less pre-study per video, per game, because at the moment, I do need to study a lot, the specific vocab of each game that I do play. And I haven't played one over the last month or so, just because I've been dealing with other stuff, but I do hope to drop one once a month next year, and then hopefully by the end of next year, get into a nice flow of being able to drop videos a little bit more regularly. Obviously, that's a lot of work because I'm running 2 channels here, but it does allow me to kind of track my progress over time. So that's my plans for Chinese, okay? And I'll probably do a trip to China next year, but I'm not so sure at this stage. Originally, the plan was around Easter time we'd go there, me and my wife, okay? However, with everything that's happened with her cat and all that type of stuff, she basically doesn't want to leave him alone. She's a little bit worried that, things aren't exactly in the best of states for him. So that's my Chinese plans. Now, let's expand out a little bit. I got YouTube plans, which will impact on my language learning plans. Okay, so as you guys know, I currently have, 33K subs? Something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. I've got something like that, which means that well, doesn't mean anything actually. Realistically, subs don't actually mean too much on YouTube, because like you look at the views I get per video, it's actually very low if you look at the overall sub count. It's more, most people don't even follow their own goddamn subscriptions, but it does give you a metric to work towards. And this is what I want to talk about now. So I've spoken about before that when I reach 100k subs, that I would allow the community to select the next language that I would learn. And then I'd probably also, not guaranteed, it really depends on the language, but I would also allow them to select the method that I should trial for that. Now, I said that would happen at 100k subs. Now, based on current growth, if I'm doing really well, then by end of next year, I should be at 100k subs, assuming I do like really, really well. Okay, I'd have to probably double the amount of subs I get per day or something. I think that's maybe possible. Okay, so that gives me something to work towards on YouTube, get to that 100k, and then I'll be able to launch the next language challenge. And I think that's probably a good time frame as well, because by the end of next year, my Spanish should be at a level where I don't need to put in so many hours per day, and I can kind of just really just sit back and enjoy the language type of thing, and I can push it more to the back burner and start taking on a new language challenge. Also, my Chinese should be at a good point by then as well. Both reading, well, not both, so reading, listening, speaking, it should all be at a good point. I should be able to pull back a little bit on each one of those languages and then focus on some type of new goal. Now, that's assuming I get to the 100k. If I don't get to that by the end of next year, then obviously I ain't taking on that next language challenge. So if you really, really, really want me to do that, you guys know what you got to do. Sub to the channel. Okay, so that's language challenges. Now let's talk, well, language and YouTube. Next, I want to talk about fitness. So I kind of had this goal, like there was this quote, I can't remember what it is exactly, but it's something along the lines of, you haven't truly mastered your own, you haven't truly mastered yourself as a person if you have not yet mastered both your mind and your body. And I really want to get into fitness more and more. So over the next year, because my back's actually gotten a lot stronger now since over the last few months I've been using a back extension machine, working on the muscles down there, but I want to actually start getting really into fitness as of next year. Okay, which is, funnily enough, not that long away. But as I get back to Sydney, okay, down here, well, actually, I've been doing a fair bit down here. I've been wandering around the bush, basically speaking in random languages. They probably think I'm like the linguistic troll of the forest down here or something. But I do want to get into fitness and basically just become... like, it's obviously this is a long-term plan. You're not going to do this all within 1 year, but you should be able to get to a good point where, you know, I've got the weight off, I've got some muscle mass happening. I start looking the part, you know, the balding part. Yeah, I don't know if this is just me, guys, but I've got this weird ass thinking that if you're bald and you've shaved, you got to have a good bod. You just got to look good. Otherwise, like a skinny bald man's kind of, it looks like a leukemia patient or something, you know what I mean? Okay, that's freaking terrible. But like, I'm like, okay, well, I've gone the bald path. I gotta work on the body. I gotta have the body to match the head. I don't want to be the cancer patient type of thing. So that's, yeah, what I want to do with fitness. And it's actually quite funny is because my wife, you know, the other day saw this for the first time via video chat. And let's just say there was a extended period of silence and shock, followed by silence and shock, and then she started thinking, well, at least we're not going to get stabbed in Sydney anymore. You look like a criminal. And then she was talking about, you know, getting fake tats and putting them all in my arm and stuff. And I don't know where this is leading. I'm not going to actually get tats, but like, that would be fucking funny if I was like this great big beefy fucking, you know, tatted muscled guy who's just like spewing out languages. Okay, but yeah, that's my crazy goals for the next year. Let me know down in the comments section. Okay, what are your plans? And as I said, this is not like just a new year thing. This is part of a greater plan. Obviously, I've been doing things up until this point, and my greater plan beyond the next year, okay, obviously I'll have my Chinese channel, but I would probably, like, I hope to envision myself one day on this channel being the guy who basically experiments and finds ways to improve himself both intellectually and physically, and just share that knowledge with you guys without, you know, selling bullshit courses, you know, like get ripped and speak fluent Chinese in 3 weeks with the Evildea method, you know, some bullshit like that. But like, I feel like that's a way of, one, sharing my knowledge, but two, okay, and probably more important for me, is keeping myself in check. By doing this stuff on YouTube, I keep myself in check because you guys come down into the comment section, you ask me where certain things are at. So that's kind of why I do what I do in some ways, okay, and then also money, you know. Give me money, bitches. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Yeah, again, share what you're doing down in the comment section below so that in 1 year, fucking mosquitoes, I can come back and trash talk all those of you who didn't do what you were going to say. So make sure what you say you're going to do, you fucking do. I'll see you all in the next video.